He's been in the club also for over a year and managed to speak 7 times. He will be delivering his 8th speech from the Competent Communicator Manual, which pertains to get comfortable with visual aids. The title of his speech is Ancient Scriptures, Mystery or Reality. The speech is inspired by his belief in the Indian scriptures and scientific knowledge that we as a human race have attained. He will speak for 5 to 7 minutes. God needs to continuously bless Anil every Monday now.
Hence the word I did before. That's where I left you guys in my last speech. I'm going to continue from there and talk about the Indian scriptures further into Vedas. And that's what fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my friends, I'm going to talk about and tell you what those Vedas really constitute of in a very crux of 3 or 4 slides that I will talk in 5 minutes and correlate them to our today's knowledge or scientific knowledge that we believe in. Understanding the Vedas, the scriptures that have been written in Indian ancient mythology or scriptures, anything you want to call them, they're very tedious. All the scriptures that have been written have their own definite language. So think about that. I hand you over probably a Chinese alphabetical manual and give you a guide of 5,000 pages and say, tell me what it means. So that's how you have to read the Indian scriptures. The problem with that is all those scriptures are contextual, like our Google translation. You can translate English to Japanese or Japanese to English, but the context of that language is missed. And that's where the problem starts with Vedas. Not everybody, even if you are going to learn the language of Vedas, will be able to contextually say this is what it really means. So we have different interpretation of Vedas that we live with. I have picked some of the well-known or well-accepted formations that we had from Vedas. So very first thing that I talked about last time was as word ended. I talked about Mahabharata. I said one of our doctor who is a professor at Memphis, professor of physics at University of Memphis, he did all the analysis. And because all our scriptures talk about astronomically, the situation of moons, the situation of stars, he could predict the actual things or the events that have been prescribed had happened exactly 3067 BC before. There is only one instance in the history that could have happened. There was the alignment of stars in that particular Mahabharata is known to be it's a fight between good and bad. The astronomical significance of the stars in that particular situation is that there will be a war. The same situation of star alignment happened during 9/11. Whether you want to believe it or not, but that's how the astronomy is. So next I will talk about the Vedas. Vedas define yugas. They are basically defined around mandalas. So what is a mandala? It's the orientation of one particular object around the other objects. That's how our universe is built up. Very first thing, moon. Moon revolves around Earth. That gives you a day of time. Earth will revolve around sun. That will give you a time of a year. Similarly, when Earth will revolve around our galaxy, it will give you more formations that have been very well prescribed in the Vedas. Our own galaxy, when it revolves around the bigger galaxies, or the universe, what we call it, gives you the Manavatar. That's the whole lifeline of human beings that we are today prescribed in Vedas. I will not talk about the numbers, how much that is, but that's how they have came into being, what we call as the Big Bang Theory. All those galaxies, and like John was telling, sun is going to eat us one day. In the Vedas, it's prescribed exactly how it is going to happen, how many years it will take for it to happen. And that's scientifically getting close to what Vedas interpretation is. It's still far off is in billion years. But as our scientific technology is improving, we are getting closer to what we interpret out of Vedas. I have prescribed the Mahayuga here. Mahayuga is basically, it has a very good correlation. So we start in Hindu scriptures, everything with Brahma. He is the God, he is the creator. The way we say is that as an atom, Brahma replicated himself into every living being that we have today. So it's not really a creator, it's just a replicator. The interesting thing about that is in Vedas, the way they define, the numbers I have put there, probably you don't need to read all the zeros. But essentially, if you look at the Brahma's days that have been prescribed, they are 864000. Don't worry about how many zeros those are, they are way off our day. But those number of seconds we have in our day. Then his lifetime is prescribed as 3110, enough zeros for us to probably take a bus billion gazillion times. That is how many seconds we have in a year. So it's a good correlation between how Vedas have already interpreted the days that probably took us millions of years to research and figure out scientifically how many seconds we have to put and how we change the dates, how we change the hours, how we do anything around our years and set up our calendars. Mahayugas are divided into 4 yugas. Essentially, it divides it into 4:3:2:1 ratio. That's how your one Mahayuga will end. That's a single day of life in Brahma. He has billions of lives that you all will go through. So the way it works is that the first Yuga was the Sat Yuga. Everybody was very clean, there is no problem. Second Yuga, you have 25% of people who have become bad. Then 50%, and then the 20% people are good. That's where we are today. So that's how Vedas are prescribing everything for us. I have an interesting correlation. I have picked laws of motion here. What you see is because it's from the Kannada Rishi, and there have been different versions that his Veda was written in 2nd BC. There are Hindu scriptures which say it's 6 BC. So if it is 6 BC, it's the same law of motions which have been passed us as Newton's theory laws. The second thing which I have put is the sun. In our Vedas, and if you talk about Hindus doing yogas or any meditation, they do Om. It's the same sound which sun produces today. And NASA has verified it. It's the same sound of Om that comes from the sun. So we have spent billions of years to figure it out, but it was written in Vedas. Possibly for good or bad, I don't know. But that's where I think this has a mystery, which is there in Vedas. I don't know if it will ever become reality that we will came to know and probably harness that energy and don't spend our time building so many things that we talk about being advances in technology today. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.